And we're live. Welcome to Office Hours with Arrow, a LinkedIn Live event hosted by Arrow leaders who care about what senior living looks like. I'm your host and producer, Rachel Sheehan, and today we have Katarina and Howard from Arrow and Elyss from Cubigo. I am so excited for this conversation. And today we're going to talk about residents and technology and our Arrow app. So very exciting. We're going to go around first. I did want to have each of you intro yourself. So we'll start with our guest, Elyss. Tell us who you are.
Sure. Yeah. Thank you so much for having me. My name is Elyss. I have been with Cubigo for 2.5 years, but my background is as a speech and language pathologist, really focusing on rehabilitation within the senior living rehab clinical space. So I have a lot of experience working with older adults who need some assistive technology in order to increase their access to their community or communication interactions. So through my experience working as an SLP or speech language pathologist in senior living, I kind of started to notice, all of these opportunities for technology to step in and help solve problems. And that's when I found out about Cubigo and asked them if I could join their team. And here I am.
Very cool. I love that background. I didn't know that about you. I love that. Very cool. Howard, how about you?
Well, I am an integrations manager with Arrow Senior Living. I've been here for 16 years, which is kind of hard to believe. I started off with the company assisting in sales, helping with creative follow-ups, and then steadily worked my way pretty much in every department in resident services, worked in memory care, eventually working as a memory care director, working as an assistant executive director, and a little bit of everything. So I currently work at the home office and help work on policies and procedures, getting new programs up and running, and partnering with Cubigo and helping get that platform, hopefully working to the best of its ability for our residents and our staff.
Awesome. Well, happy Sweet 16. I didn't know it was 16, but that's awesome. All the things you've done for Arrow. Very cool. And last but not least, Katarina.
Hello, I am Katarina Vrhovac. I'm the Resident Experience Director at Arrow Senior Living. I started off with Arrow 5 years ago this year. I started off as a Resident Services Director. I moved then to a new community as a Resident Services Director, still within Arrow. And then I joined the Regional Resident Services team, the marketing team, and then I found my way back to Resident Services. So I work directly with the Resident Services Directors and all things Arrow app.
I love it. And I have to point out, I noticed Howard and I unintentionally matched today, but I think Elyss and Kat, this was planned. So tell us about your shirts.
Yes.
Go ahead, Kat.
I got a little excited, Elyss. So our shirts came from our Resident Services Growth Summit. It says it's a little heart with our Cubigo and Arrow because we are besties. We are, they were one of our sponsors actually at our Growth Summit. We work very closely together. So all of our Resident Services Directors got these t-shirts. I love it because it reminds me of a band t-shirt. I wear it at least once a week, I'll be honest. But yeah, Elyss, you can share a little bit about it as well.
Yes. It was so fun for me, Rachel, because it was the opportunity for me to meet these Arrow team members for the first time in person. We spend so much time collaborating with this amazing team of all these different Arrow stakeholders who are bringing different perspectives, different sets of expertise and personalities to our core project group. But getting to see everyone in person, feel the energy in the room, see the athleticism from the chair volleyball events. My goodness. It was so much fun for me to actually see Cubigo and the Arrow app in the process of being utilized by this group of people and watch them ask great questions about how they could leverage it in order to improve, their own efficiencies or the resident experience.
Very cool. And I'm so sad I missed it. So next time, Elyss, I won't miss you. But I would love, Elyss, could you give us just a little bit background on Cubigo and what they bring to senior living?
Yes, absolutely. So, Cubigo's mission is really to help streamline efficiencies across senior living. We're digitizing the experience, we're future-proofing the experience, and that comes with really integrating all of your non-clinical services that you experience in the community environment. So we're pulling in that whole resident engagement side. Here's where you can create your calendar and advertise the amazing events that are going on within your community. But then also here's our other services in which you can request that maintenance be performed in your apartment. That's going to flow straight to your plan ops team. Here's a cube or an area of our platform where you can order from the dining menu. And here's how your restaurant and culinary services can follow up on all of that. So these are just a few examples, but we really are, working to future-proof senior living, make sure all of these various services are integrated into one system that's easy to use for your residents and very valuable in terms of all of that data being in one place for your team members.
I love that. And so, Howard, you've been the closest contact for Elyss, I'd say, with this project. So can you just explain to us why we partner with Cubigo and also how that fits into our company's vision?
Well, I think Cubigo aligns with Arrow a lot on our forward-looking desires, our need and what we feel like the senior living industry needs to have, an outlook that anticipates what's coming next within the industry, especially as we see the baby boomer generation, beginning to age into senior living. And this is going to be a generation that is much more tech savvy, and they're going to be much more used to having the ability to interact with and have tools at their disposal to ask for things, to make requests, to engage with the community and the things that they need or the things that they're interested in a way that maybe previous senior generations were not. And I think that Cubigo is, very mindful of approaching those needs. And so I think with Arrow, we're wanting to begin that process. We're, looking to digitize a lot of our processes to begin, moving away from paperless, of course, but also to look at those tech forward options so that as those seniors do begin to age into place and as the families look for ways to integrate more closely into the operations of a community, that we have those tools that they can just immediately click into and utilize.
Yeah, awesome. And for Kat's side of things, so Kat, your role is kind of getting the teams and then the residents excited about this. So what has that been like?
It has been a journey. It has been a real journey. I think when we initially brought it on, it was met with some curiosity, and I'll be honest, some hesitation. It was like, how are we going to get our seniors to use this technology? And I think it was all about breaking our team's bias on our seniors not wanting to do this. Once we brought it to our residents, they were like, wait, this is amazing. Like, I can make a maintenance request from the comfort of my apartment. I can look at the menu from sitting at my chair in my living room. Like, it's those little things that have really given them the ability and the freedom with a one-stop shop for everything through the Arrow app. So it's been a journey. We continuously work on, expanding our residents' knowledge, our team's knowledge on the Arrow app, all the exciting updates Cubigo constantly brings us. We're bringing to our teams. And I think we've really hit a great stride with our teams and translating that message to the residents. One of the really exciting things is a lot of our communities have now been utilizing high school volunteers to come in and teach tech classes. And what a great intergenerational moment, because the residents get that moment with the students and the students get to teach the residents all about our app. And it's just been a win-win. So.
Very cool. And I know working through this, there's always things to work through on our end and work with Cubigo. So what has that been like, the back and forth between all of you working together?
I think there are some really cool examples of how the partnership has grown in terms of, the Cubigo side really deeply understanding Aero Senior Living operational needs. One example that comes to mind that reflects more of a recent change with the Cubigo app is that, we had the Plan Ops team join our office hours, Howard, and they mentioned to us, this is great that the maintenance requests are flowing directly into our maintenance system. What would make it even easier is if this integration were enhanced to allow for automated billing so that we didn't have to take that step ourselves. So I think just allowing a space to really deeply understand what would make it easier to use, what would make it more efficient, what would bring more value to the Aero team members, and then acting on that once we really understand the request. So now we have an enhanced TELS integration that actually allows for that automated billing piece. So being able to directly implement those changes that were requested by the Plan Ops team in this example.
And I just want to commend you for that, like Elyss and Howard and Kat, for being open to us coming to you with those ideas and then being open to make the changes and vice versa. I know, Kat, whenever somebody asks you on our meetings, you're like, I'll put in a request. We'll talk to Elyss, and it's just like we have to see if this is possible both ways. So I think that's a good foundation for a partnership.
Yeah, I think one of the things that's been such a pleasure working with Cubigo is coming and having, we meet with them weekly to talk about different things that, that the platform provides, and then also raising questions, and they give us insight into how we can make it work more efficiently on our end. And then we also, Elyss is, first of all, I love working with Elyss. Like, she's just amazing with her customer service, both at a community level and working with a home office and seeing like what can be done. But there have been, so many projects. I mean, the running list of things that we're working with Cubigo on to, implement on behalf of Aero Senior Living, and I'm assuming the other Cubigo, partners as well. It's really just going to continue to enhance the ability for senior living communities to just provide even more substance for their residents and their family members.
Yeah, I love that.
Absolutely. If you don't mind, Rachel, just
Yeah.
expanding on that too. I think it's so valuable. When I think about the Aero Senior Living Cubigo partnership, like, we're learning so much from you all as well, because, I get to meet with this dream team of Aero Senior Living team members. Meredith Eccles bringing in this like amazing wizardry of project management. Howard's bringing in this incredible breadth of experience when it comes to operations. Matt Myers is bringing in all of this incredible insight and genius data analytics. And then Kayla Barlow is bringing in this incredible just ray of sunshine, passion for the resident experience. And they're asking these amazing questions about how to leverage the Cubigo platform for various needs within their spaces. And so they're really helping to inform us what people need, what residents need, how we can leverage this data to make it most valuable. So I just love the back and forth that we have from all of your experts.
I love that. I love all the shout outs. I love that you guys love working together. Very fun. I do want to dive into how we are using the app, which I pulled it up myself. It's a little bright. Let me see. Just to show people, like, these are how easy it is for our residents to just click on the different things they need. And then I can see right now, like, Vitalia Stowe is having a happy hour tomorrow. They posted about their Oktoberfest happy hour. Like, it's so easy to use. So, Kat, I want you to tell us from your perspective, just what are some of the examples of how they're using the app day to day?
Yeah, well, you just showed one, the news feed. It's a huge feature for us. Resident service directors are always looking at ways to highlight different things in the community. For example, different events, they can post flyers that'll show on their digital displays on our news feed. I've had communities post, hey, we had these bingo winners today, or here's our fitness challenge winners for this month. So fun things like that. Another great feature of our news feed is that it does display to our TVs in the community. So messaging can be broadcasted throughout the community in a very simple, quick way. Another way I've noticed communities utilize it is, we have our Facebook pages and we love to post photos there, but sometimes not all of we can't post 50 photos at once, on our Facebook pages. So sometimes they'll go into their newsfeed and they'll post event photos there for residents to be able to engage with and see it that way. Arrow's also been able to utilize the newsfeed features at our community. So when we need a resident for our newsletter or a resident to do an interview for Nicely News, we can present that on our digital displays, and we can have residents directly reach back out to us, which has been awesome because we can build those connections from home office, which is amazing through all of our communities. Another big one is our events. So this was always a dream of mine when I was a resident service director. So I'm so happy they have this. But to have a one-stop shop to build your events in one program where it automatically displays on your TVs. So they can build their events in there. They can have residents RSVP in the Arrow app. They can print their calendars directly from the Arrow app. They can print their weekly sheets from the Arrow app. Like, talk about a one-stop shop for everything. And now Arrow app actually has a update where they can customize their calendar a bit, which has been really exciting for our teams because we love some customization resident services. We love to make it ours. So very, very fun with that. One of my favorites as well is resident directory. So that is where residents they can search up different residents with common interests. So there's a keyword search feature, which has been a game changer for our residents. So when we build in their social profiles in the app, if there's a keyword, they can search. If someone likes Uno or someone likes to play cards, those keywords will pop up with that resident. And what's awesome about this is we all know, those of us that have been resident service directors, when you're in a community, keeping up with that resident directory, sometimes it's a beast. And now we don't have to worry about that because it's always updated in the Arrow app, which is amazing. I keep saying one of my favorite features because there's so many. I can't really pick one of my favorite because there is a lot. I'll just keep going. Chat feature. We have residents chatting each other in the Arrow app. Like, how amazing. If they don't have each other's phone numbers, that's fine. They can Arrow app chat each other. They can chat the team members. A big one is the menus. Residents love to be able to see the menus early on in the Arrow app. So, they're checking. If they want to place a to-go order, they're doing it through the app. Maintenance requests, we have seen that a lot as well. Residents no longer have to call the front desk. They just can make a maintenance request in their comfort of their own apartment. They don't have to talk to anyone. We've seen that a lot actually at the summit. I have heard that the residents love the maintenance request feature and our suggestion box. Residents love to be able to put their suggestions in a spot. They don't have to write in front of anyone. Again, privately, one-stop shop, they submit it and we get that directly from them. So those are a few of my examples. I know Howard has some even more examples.
Yeah, Howard, do you want to share a few?
Well, yeah, I think, one of the things that we are seeing is the ability for it to streamline operations, of course. And I mean, a lot of what Kat was talking about was that ability for them to engage directly with one another and then like through the resident services experience. Of course, the culinary is a big part of senior living. It's probably the thing that we get the most comments on, and residents probably have the most, the strongest feelings about whenever it comes to life at a senior living community. But with Cubigo, they're able, like Kat said, they're able to see those menus. They could pull that up within the app itself. We also have, televisions that display the menus on a revolving basis so they can see what the specials are for the day. They can see, certain elements that we want to really highlight at the restaurant that will hopefully spur engagement and excitement. With the point of sale system that the culinary team uses, they're able to take, orders and make sure that they're aware of any allergies, diet notifications that residents, that we want to be mindful of when we're preparing food for those residents. And then of course, like meal management, making sure that residents are, actively coming down to have a meal. And if they're not, like checking in on them, like why did they miss breakfast and lunch, and making sure that we're reaching out to them and making sure that they're okay and that, they're doing all right, and that we can maybe bring them a tray service or something so that they're actually getting the meals that they need. Of course, there's also, with that, we've talked about the resident independence aspect, but that does come with a maintenance request, being able to go in and say, like, I need my light bulb changed in the bathroom. I can't see what I'm doing when I'm shaving. Like those kind of things, putting that in directly, just having that step removed where you have to call the front desk and then, wait for somebody to answer, because we know the front desk is always busy with visitors coming in, people stopping by, and just all the things that they have to take care of. The resident now can just go in, place it. That's going to funnel directly to our plant operations team, so they know that's something that they need to take care of directly. We have a transportation cube that some communities are piloting now that we'll be rolling out, that also allows for residents to place their transportation request directly. That'll go into a calendar that'll be managed by our operations team. So then we'll be able to review those requests directly and, help organize our transportation schedule a little bit more so that residents are able to plan and will be able to provide a transportation service that's efficient and hopefully will meet the resident needs for whenever they need to go to a doctor's visit, or even if they want to take a personal private shopping trip to buy something, and using that ancillary service that we provide with our drivers.
There's so much. Like, I didn't even know. I know a lot of this, but not all of it. There's just so many cool features. Elyss, did you have anything to add that we missed? I mean, that's so much. I know there's more, but
there's so much, Rachel. I know there's so much, and there's always additions being included. We work with an incredible product team on our end to release new versions of Cubigo powering the Aero app on a regular basis. So always iterating, always improving. But I think like one theme I wanted to mention as part of this conversation is that all of these elements we've mentioned, then we're collecting all that data on all of those various elements of community life and acting on that data in terms of identifying patterns and trends. Kat, you were mentioning all of the various events features, and then being able to incorporate patterns of attendance within specific event categories, with consistency of dining requests, with consistency of maintenance requests, and then also thinking about how often that particular resident is receiving visits from loved ones, and then incorporating all of that data into one overview or snapshot of that resident's experience within the community. The Aero app or Cubigo allows your team to go in and look at those resident trends, and even, with our AI initiatives, to get a really nice, robust overview right then and there of how that particular resident is doing in your community based on all these great data points that you're pulling into the platform consistently.
Wow. I'm just thinking about when I was in a community, I would have loved to have all this info at my fingertips, and how much easier it would have been on me to give better, events and everything to my support to our residents. But I did want to ask Kat specifically, with any technology, there are struggles that come. So what have you seen, any struggles that your team has been facing with rolling out this new app to residents?
You know what? Yes, I think our biggest struggle was our mindset at the beginning. I think it was just shifting our mindset to, these residents, if you teach them, they will be able to do it, and they will want to do it once they see all the features that are there. So that was one of the things. And I think like with any new technology, working out the kinks, sometimes it's just figuring out each community's residents are different. How do we best teach these residents how to utilize the app? So it's making sure the resident services directors are taking the approach that's best suitable for their residents and their family members, because this app is available to our family members as well, which I don't know if we mentioned yet, but that's been a huge feature as well, because once we get families onboarded, they're able to see events going on, newsfeed posts, pay their, help with the bill pay online. So that's been huge for us. And the families, once the families are onboarded, they're also able to help their loved one navigate the app and show them the features and all those things.
Yeah, and I think that's a huge point to when I know one struggle could be that some residents don't have a device. But as we know, Aero is very forward thinking. In 10 years, every single resident's going to probably have a device. And then also, like you said, the family aspect of it, they may not, but now their family member can call them and tell them when bingo is or when happy hour is. So I think that's awesome. I did want to look ahead a little bit too. We're talking about being forward thinking, but Elyss, we want to know the inside scoop if you're willing to share any future features coming that Cubigo is working on.
Absolutely. I think we have so many exciting upcoming features right now that I'm so looking forward to sharing with your broader team and the rest of our partners, because it's going to, really improve efficiency when we think about our resident experience directors. So one exciting feature that I'm really looking forward to is, Cubigo's AI initiatives, Cubigo Nova, really bringing in AI engines to improve efficiency for event and calendar creation. So when you're creating that event within the Airo app, being able to simply place a title as you create the event, and then utilizing the large language models to create a full description for you. You can choose the tone of how you want it written out. This is a click of a button that creates your event, writes it out for the residents with consistent tone of voice to advertise around your community, on your calendars, on your digital signs. So these efficiencies that we're building in for the resident experience directors to save them time and create a better product without them having to worry about things. So automatically generating event descriptions, even utilizing AI to create an image that you can advertise along with your event and populate that calendar. I think the AI initiatives are really exciting, and certainly more to come on that front from the Cubigo team. And then another one that I really wanted to touch on, as Kat mentioned earlier, family member involvement is a really important element of enhancement when it comes to the Cubigo platform as well. So working to really understand how families want to leverage the platform to better check in on how their loved one has been doing, what they've been participating in, even potentially allowing, if permissions have been granted to that Airo app user, for the family member to place requests on their behalf for maintenance, for dining, et cetera. And then also, as Kat mentioned, utilizing sort of like a Facebook feed to allow family members or loved ones to have updated images of what types of event their loved one was participating in, comments from team members on, how they've been welcomed into the community, or updates available at their fingertips to help with that transition. So yeah, those are a couple of the enhancements I'm really excited about right now. But certainly so many more.
I'm excited. I'm just putting myself in their shoes. Like, this is going to make their lives so much better and easier. So thank you for sharing that with us. Howard, I wanted to ask you, just how do we plan to keep leveraging technology within Airo and making our residents' lives easier?
I think just the continued push to increase adoption by our residents and family members. I mean, Kat speaking about the intergenerational abilities or opportunities rather for, college or high school age groups to come in and do like Tech Tuesdays or do classes where they're teaching residents how to utilize the app is a really exciting way to generate excitement within the community for utilizing a technology that sometimes people might not be that excited about initially, but could see the benefit of it from feeling the excitement that other people have for it. Of course, the family portal that was just mentioned, I think will go a long way to increasing family engagement. It'll be, really just expanding the tool that families can utilize to engage and assist their family members who are residing in the community to just enhance and promote their independence and their way of life there. I think it's just going to be very beneficial. And just, our operations teams and our staff just continuing to promote and to convey excitement about it. And, from every staff level, every staff member has access to the Cubigo in some way. So we can always be working to help educate our residents and how to use it, and just providing that assistance that will make it a kind of a secondary, nature for them to make it an integrated way of life at an Airo community.
I'm so excited. Before we go though, Kat, I want to ask you, because you have championed getting everybody on this app, just what's one piece of advice if somebody listening is like, I want to start getting my residents more into technology, what would you say?
Slow and steady. it's a, slow and steady. Don't rush it. There's going to be hiccups in the road, but keep pushing forward, because you will get there. Work through any of their feedback. Elyss knows I'm constantly emailing her with feedback we're getting, and we're navigating it together. So slow and steady and work together.
Love that. That's perfect advice. So thank you all for being here. I think we did it. Next week, same place, same time. But Elyss, Howard, Kat, thank you so much for joining me today. I'm excited to see more great things for the Aero app. So thanks again. Bye, everybody.